So in this, we're going to learn a little bit more about the eldest. It wants the Hulk, but it necessarily doesn't want to fight the Hulk. Plus, there's a little mini story about Power Man. No, not Luke Cage. This is a completely different Power Man. I don't know anything about him, so feel free to pick up this comic and read that story. It's a pretty good one. Like I said, I just don't know anything about it, so that's why I'm not covering on here. My name is Dorian. This is SCM Comics. We are continuing our coverage of the Incredible Hulk with number 5. So the story starts off with Charlie being pulled in by this swamp monster who made a replica of her little brother who passed away and kind of lured her in there, and now looks like she's about to fall victim. And then we cut to the Nexus of realities where the Hulk is talking to Man-Thing. You know how many times I said Swamp Thing? It's horrible. Now, when they're in the Nexus, Theodore Silas, actually Dr. Theodore Silas, can be separate from Man-Thing. And Dr. Silas and Bruce Banner knew each other, I think, back in college. I think they both went to Empire State. So the Hulk knows Silas. And so he even says, no, let us out, Silas, now. So Silas is pretty much telling him that, you know, the eldest is calling all monsters to go after the Hulk, and that a really old monster from the swamp is awoken, and Man-Thing needs a Hulk's help with this monster, and the Hulk doesn't want anything to do with it. So the Hulk starts walking over to Dr. Silas like he about to do something. Dr. Silas is like, look, you can't hurt me in this place. Hulk picks him up, tears him in half, and pretty much goes, yes, I can. So while Dr. Silas pulls himself back together, he tells the Hulk about the story of this swamp monster that is really old, that might have been an ordinary girl, might not have been innocent, but the way that she died was still wrong. And normally she's dormant or asleep, but now that the eldest is woken up, Swamp Thing, listen to me, Man-Thing feels like it might not be able to handle it by itself. Actually, it knows it can't handle it by itself. So the Hulk still doesn't want to help. And Dr. Silas is like, didn't you come with a girl? She could be innocent, cannot be innocent. Who knows? All I know is that if you don't do anything, she's going to die, and that's going to be your fault. So then we cut back to Charlie, who looks like she is definitely going to get eaten by this swamp monster, and everything's about to go bad when all of a sudden Swamp Thing and the Hulk come out the water, and the Hulk's like, leave her alone, put her down. So the swamp monster puts her down by slinging her across the swamp, and then takes one of his front legs and stabs Man-Thing, and then Man-Thing just proceeds to pretty much break off his leg. So the Hulk's like, plant thing broke you. So the tentacle that looks like Charlie's brother wraps up Hulk and then whispers in his ear, she knows you're here and she'll be here soon. Hulk pretty much breaks out, rips him off, and then proceeds to start to beat the monster down, talking about, this is going to hurt. So far in this series, the Hulk has fought a bunch of monsters, and he's pretty much beating them all by barely breaking a sweat. I mean, like, Hulk just tears up these monsters like they're nothing. So Hulk finishes beating up the monster and then goes, there, now leave me alone. And Man-Thing just goes back into the water. So the Hulk goes, kid, let's, and then we see Charlie, and she's still grieving about her little brother, talking about she's so sorry, repeats it over and over again. Says it's her fault. She was too clumsy. He shouldn't have died. Like, she's grieving. And this causes the Hulk to transform back into Banner, which is one of the most gruesomest things you will ever see when it comes to these transformations. Like, this series is dead on when it comes to these transformations. I mean, it shouldn't be something that is, he seamlessly just gets bigger and then just gets smaller. No, it should be gruesome like this, because he goes from like a 5'7" being to all of a sudden being 10 feet tall. So yeah, it's gonna be gruesome. So after that little horror transformation takes place, all of a sudden all you hear is, hello Bruce, and it's Betty Ross. So Charlie thinks that it's the monster again and is still alive, and just throws a stick at her. So now she transforms into Heartbeat, and she goes, kid has your manners, Bruce. So now she transformed. Bruce is like, it is you. Are you okay? And she's like, it doesn't matter. I'm here on behalf of the eldest. So he's like, I'm hearing the name a lot lately. And Betty's like, she's one of us. She was the first. She's the first abomination born against the will of the one above all. She knows about you, Bruce, and she sent me to make a deal with you. And he goes, a deal? What deal? And she goes, she wants the Hulk. And Bruce is like, come on now. You know, if I could have been rid of the Hulk, I would have been a long time ago. He's in my cells. He's in my mind. I can't just get rid of him. And Betty's like, the eldest has powers to create life, to create flesh. If you give her your flesh, the Hulk's flesh, then she can give us new bodies and we can start over again, all young, fresh and new. So Bruce is like, what does she want with the Hulk? And Betty's like, it doesn't matter. Besides, he's erasing you. Like, how many more transformations do you think you have before he totally takes over? The eldest is coming. She's offering you a chance to undo all the awful things you did to us. Take it. And she dips out. In the next issue, looks like the Hulk is going up against Ghost Rider.